back to another World of Warcraft video. Today we're going to be going over the Brewmaster Monk. Yes, the Brewmaster. The big, fat, bouncy tank. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through the abilities, go through all the talents, and then we're going to jump into a dungeon so you can see what everything looks like in real time. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into the abilities section. Starting off, we have Blackout Strike. Strike with the blast of chi energy, dealing physical damage and generating a stack of elusive brawler. Breath of Fire. Breathe on a target in front of you, causing fire damage. Targets affected by Keg Smash will also burn, taking fire damage and dealing 5% reduced damage to you for 12 seconds. Chi Torpedo. It actually replaces your roll. Torpedoes you forward a long distance, increasing movement speed by 30%. See. Crackling Jade Lightning. Channel Jade Lightning, causing nature damage over 3.2 seconds to the target and sometimes knocking back melee attackers. Detox. Remove all poison and disease effects from the target. Remember, you have that. You can do that so your healer doesn't have to. Expel Harm. Draw in the positive chi of all your healing spheres and expel negative chi, damaging the nearest enemy for 10% of the amount healed. Fortifying Brew. Turns your skin to stone for 15 seconds, increases your current and maximum health by 20%, increases the effectiveness of stagger by 10%, and reduces all damage you take by 20% on a 7-minute cooldown. But I'll show you how that worked here in a little bit. Iron Skin Brew. A swig of strong brew allows you to stagger substantially more damage for 6 seconds. Shares charges with Purifying Brew. Keg Smash. Smash a keg of brew on the target, dealing damage to all enemies within 8 yards and reducing their movement speed by 20% for 15 seconds. Obviously, throw that down, then Breath of Fire, so you can get that damage reduction, plus do a little extra damage with the burn damage. But here's where it comes really in handy. Reduces the remaining cooldown on your brews by 4 seconds. So let's say use an Iron Skin Brew. You can pop all those. So you throw a Keg Smash down, those cooldowns are reduced by 4 seconds. Fortifying Brew is also in that, so even though it's a 7-minute cooldown, every time you use Keg Smash, that is reduced by 4 seconds. And you're using Keg Smash a lot. So, Leg Sweep knocks down all enemies within 5 yards, stunning them for 3 seconds. Leg Sweep with baseline across all Monk specs, which is a much needed change. Paralysis incapacitates the target for 1 minute. Limit 1, damage will cancel the effect. On non-bosses, you can actually use this as an extra interrupt. Provoke, that's your taunt. Purifying Brew clears 50% of the damage delayed with stagger. Shares charges with Iron Skin Brew. Resuscitate returns the spirit to the body, restoring a dead target to life. That's your res. Bring pieces of talent. Spear Hand Strike is your interrupt on a 15-second cooldown. Tiger Palm costs 25 energy. Attack with the palm of your hand, dealing 382 damage. Reduces the remaining cooldown on your brews again by 1 more second. You'll be using Tiger Palm a lot as a filler. Transcendence. Split your body into spirit, leaving your spirit behind for 15 minutes. Then you have Transcendence Transfer on a 45-second cooldown. As you can see, it went over there, so next time I use it again, I'll be back over to that spot. Vivify causes a surge of invigorating mist, healing the target for 2600, 1.2 second cast. Give your Zen Meditations on a 5-minute cooldown. Reduce all damage taken by 60% for 8 seconds. Moving, being hit by a melee attack, or taking another action will cancel the effect. Obviously, if it's going to be a big hit, you can use that and absorb that melee hit and stopping it. So you're going to be taking some magical damage or a magical AoE or a channeled spell that you can't be interrupted. Bam, you pop that. You can just sit there right inside all that magic damage. It ain't going to do anything to you. Well, not much. Zen Pilgrimage. Your spirit travels to your home temple, leaving your spirit behind. Using Zen Pilgrimage again to return back to your near departure point. Obviously, you can always use that and get back to Stormwind. Always nice. Alright, passive. Brewmaster's Balance. Your armor is increased by 25%. Celestial Fortune. You have a chance equal to your critical strike chance to be healed for an additional 65% of the amount healed. Gift of the Ox. When you take damage, you have a chance to summon a healing sphere, visible only to you. Moving through this healing sphere also heals you. You don't always want to be using those because you have Expel Harm, so you don't always be using those, but they are nice to have when you need them. Each time you're hit by a melee Elusive Brawler. Each time you're hit by a melee attack or hit with Blackout Strike, you gain stacking 22% increased dodge chance until your next successful dodge. Also increases your attack power by 22%. Mystic Touch. Your damage weakens the target, increasing physical damage taken by 5%. That would be the monk's group passive. Or group wide buff. It's basically a debuff you put on targets. Okay. Stagger. You shrug off attacks, delaying a portion of physical damage based on your agility instead of taking it over 10 seconds. Affects magical attacks at 25% effectiveness. Basically, you take a hit, 25% of that damage is going to be staggered over 10 seconds rather than taking the whole hit at once. Very unique, very different way of tanking, dealing with damage, but it works, and it works very well. Alright, let's jump into the talents here. Level 15, you have Eye of the Tiger. Tiger Palm also applies Eye of the Tiger, dealing 400 nature damage to the enemy and 400 healing to the monk over 8 seconds. You have Chi Wave, which is instant cast on a 15-second cooldown. A wave of Chi energy flows through friends and foe, dealing 200 nature damage to an or 354 healing, bounces up to 7 times to targets within 25 yards. Then you have Chi Burst. Still has a cast time on a 30-second cooldown, hurls a torrent of Chi energy up to 40 yards forward, dealing nature damage to all enemies and healing to the monk and all allies in its path. Casting Chi Burst does not prevent avoiding attacks. Okay, Celerity. Reduces the cooldown of roll by 5 seconds and increases maximum charges by 1. You have Chi Torpedo. Torpedoes you forward a long distance, increasing movement speed by 30% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 2 times. And you have 2 charges. Tiger's Lust increases a friendly target's movement speed by 60% for 6 seconds and removes all roots and snares. Just remember that is useful because you can cast it on other people. Level 45, Light Brewing. Reduces the cooldown of Iron Skin Brew and Purifying Brew by 3 seconds and increases their maximum number of charges by 1. Gift of the Mists. Gift of the Ox has up to a 75% increased chance to stagger based on your missing health. Black Ox Brew. Chug some Black Ox Brew, which instantly refills your energy, and your Iron Skin Brew and Purifying Brew charges. Tiger Tail Sweep. Increases the range of leg sweep by 2 yards and reduces its cooldown by 10 seconds. Summon the Black Ox Statue. Summon the Black Ox Statue at the target location for 15 minutes, pulsing threat to all enemies within 30 yards. You may cast Provoke on the statue to taunt all enemies near the statue. Now, one useful thing about this, you can put it down. You can make a macro that will either cast Provoke on your Black Ox Statue. So, let's see. You just put it down. You can hit that macro. It'll taunt everything on it without even clicking off of it. Your Ring of Peace. Form a Ring of Peace at the target location for 5 seconds. Enemies that enter will be ejected from the ring. Bam, Ring of Peace. Anything that comes in here to get me is going to get knocked back. Useful if you need to heal yourself. Useful for Mythic Plus, where you have, what's it, Necrotic? I think it's Necrotic, the one that reduces healing done, or healing received. Very useful to drop your stacks. Alright, 75, Bob and Weave. Increase the duration of stagger by 3 seconds. Healing Elixir. Drink a healing elixir, healing you for 15% of your maximum health with 2 charges. Dampen Harm. Reduce all damage you take by 20% to 50% for 10 seconds, with larger attacks being reduced by more. Level 90, a Special Delivery. Drink Iron Skin or Purifying Brew. Has a 100% chance to toss a keg high into the air that lands nearby for 3 seconds, dealing damage to all enemies within 8 yards and reducing their movement speed by 50%. Nice passive, just going to do a little extra damage. Don't have to worry about it, just kind of just set it and forget it. Rushing Jade Wind summons a whirling tornado around you, causing damage over 7 seconds to enemies within 8 yards. Has no cost, only has a 5-second cooldown, and it lasts 7 seconds. You can have 100% uptime on this if you want it. Invoke the Black Ox Dave. Summon an effigy of Dave, the Black Ox, for 45 seconds. He attacks your primary target and taunts it. He also frequently stomps, damaging all nearby enemies. High Tolerance. Stagger is 10% more effective at delaying damage. You gain up to 15% haste based on your current level of stagger. Elusive Dance. Purifying Brew now clears an additional 20% of the damage delayed with stagger. It also grants up to 20% dodge and damage done for 6 seconds based on level stagger damage purified. Blackout Combo is my go-to. Blackout Strike also empowers your next ability. Remember, Blackout Strike only has a 3-second cooldown, no cost, so you can cast it all the time. And what you can do is Tiger Palm, you gain extra damage. Great. Use it on Breath of Fire, cooldown reduced by 3 seconds. Great. Keg Smash. Reduce the remaining cooldown on your brews by 2 additional seconds. That'd make it 6 seconds for your Keg Smash. You can keep your brews up and going all the time. You can use Fortifying Brew on a very regular basis. It takes timing, it takes some practice, but you can really get it and you can really do it well. Okay. As you can see, there's we're having the beta bug where it's just going to sit there. Alright, let's go over here. You also, if you use it with your Iron Skin brew, it pauses stagger damage for 3 seconds. Purifying Brew grants you a stack of Elusive Brawler. Alright, so those are the talents. Those are the abilities we went through. What we're going to do is just go ahead and jump into a dungeon. You can see what it looks like firsthand. And I really love the Monk. It is my favorite class. And the one I will be maining here in Battle for Azeroth. So, do hope you guys like it. And make sure you follow the stream too. It is twitch.tv/venison85. Let's play some Brewmaster. Let's see, is this one freehold? Freehold. Sure, he just jumped. Oh, we only have. Am I missing somebody? control the pet.
I've got it on good authority. The captains are gathering to meet. If we get into that party, you can cut off all the heads from this hydra in one fell swoop. Not even fish drink like build fights. If you can keep up with this dude, Captain Medora won't be able to resist inviting you.
Oh, I guess that's something.
Putting your hands on an invitation will make sure you rush in and attempt to kill three of the most feared pirate captains all at once.
Wonder how many extra guys are gonna get pulled during this. I'm assuming we probably don't want to be focusing both of them at the same time. I know they don't share a health pool. I guess that's something. miss not having Russian Jade when I need to take that back.
I am out of range.
Alright.
Gather round
You like
and
this, Ben.
place your bets. We got a new set of competitors. Take it away, Gerthok and Woden.
That's your cue, landlubbers.
Ouch! Why'd you poke me? Oh, wake up, Woden. We're on.
Come on, say the things! Say the things!
Ouch! Okay. Gather round for a show of unbridled ferocity. Coming to you from parts unknown. The mysterious, the dangerous, the slightly unkempt, the band of smelly buccaneers. And entering the ring, we have the amazing, the incredible, the magnificent, the... What the... Really? It's a greased-up pig? I'm beginning to think this is not a professional setup. Oh, well, grab the pig, and you win.
I did not want to jump on the druid. Woohoo, I caught the pig.
Well, look at that. They caught a pig. Maybe we should move on to a more threatening talent. From the sewers of Freehold comes a Tortolan brigand who makes it his duty to totally hurt you. He is the dynamo of defense, the sergeant of shell shock, the Harriet in a half shell, Ludwig! Ludwig goes down! What a fight! These smelly buccaneers are resilient, and they better be, because their next challenger is the epitome of brutality. A champion that sleeps with the fishes. Literally. The Freehold fanatic. The master of the jagged jawbone jab. The powerful pugilist predator. Trothak the shark puncher!
I cannot attack that.
Sharknado. Oops. Not mean to hit that.
I am out of range.
I really hate when DPS decide to take it upon themselves to do stupid things.
I am out of range. I need a target. Target something first. I need a target.
Looks like so far the Brewmaster's feeling a lot more resilient than the Prop Valley. Ooh, we got him.